What's going on, my guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Garrett with Game by the Beach. Very excited to be here with you today because we got some news released just yesterday, about update 19.0. Balancing changes are upon us, and there's so many that we have to go through. I think there's probably about 15 different changes, some of which I like, some of which I hate. I think you're probably going to be on board with most of my opinions, not necessarily most of the changes. And of course, we're going to be going through a co-op in the meantime. So guys, grab your coffee, grab your device. Let's head on down to Game by the Beach. Welcome back once again, fellas. We're going to be jumping right into a game of co-op here. I mean, this seems super loud. Let's turn it down a hair. A game of co-op because you guys guessed it from the title, from the thumbnail, whatever. We're going to be going over the balancing changes. There are newly released balancing changes coming in update 19.0. And I want to break down exactly what they are. And you guys know I can't just sit here and talk about them, right? Well, even though I am kind of sitting here and talking about them, we're going to be playing, making it a little chaotic, making it a little bit more interesting, and at the same time, talking about all the different balancing changes. And I haven't seen them. So I saw the little picture that they put out showing what was happening, buffs, nerfs, talent buffs and nerfs, and then reworks. I don't think there's any reworks coming in, but there is definitely a lot of changes coming, and some of them, to say the least, I'm very surprised about. So let's just make sure that our Inquisitor is rearing and ready to go here, and I think we can pretty much do something like this. Get a bunch of mana. Get a bunch of swords. And that's at 6 already. Pretty funny. I don't really need these dryads. Let me do this, this, and let's jump right into the information that we are talking about. So this information is already out to the public, okay? I either go to their official Discord page or I go to their Facebook page to find out what's going on. So you guys go check that out as well. But balancing changes. Cultist. Right in the heart already, guys. Right in the heart. You guys know the #1 card that I'm working on right now is Cultist. If you can't tell by my tone, it's a nerf, okay? Balancing changes Cultist. Minimum base damage goes from 334 to 295. The damage was already low. You cannot tell me that Cultist was too strong, okay? The best deck in the game is still Inquis. I'm an Inquis player. The best deck in the game is still Inquisitor. Why are we nerfing Cultist? They tell us why. Why? The latest unit changes have greatly increased the win rate and popularity of the Cultist, allowing for win rates in excess of 55% at unit levels 7 to 9, okay? Before gaining talents. For this reason, we have made the decision to reduce his damage at low levels. At the same time, the amount of damage dealt at high level will change slightly. Lessen slightly, right? It's still going to be weaker at the top. I don't like it. Not a fan. Moving on. Minotaur. Earthquake min damage goes from 180 to 130. Earthquake max damage goes from 420 to 290. Holy nerf, dude. Oh, I forgot to level up my stuff. Holy nerf. Why? Yeah, why? Why? Currently, this unit has one of the highest win rates of any unit with talents at all levels, just like among units of level 9 to 7 to 9. What the heck is this sentence? Just like among units of level 7 to 9 before the appearance of talents, reaching 70% win rate. Okay. The earthquake damage change is intended to affect the effectiveness. Affect the effectiveness, fellas, of the unit as a whole, not its individual talent. Okay. All right. I mean, I don't see Minotaur hardly ever. What I'm really thinking of is if you are a lower level player, lower account level, so say around, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 trophies, and that's kind of where you reside. If you have Cultist, if you have Minotaur, yeah, you're going to be winning, as you should, right? You've got better cards than the other people. They're probably still throwing decks together of like Bruiser, Plague Doctor, right? If you've got a legendary unit that's real good, it should have a high win rate. But you don't see Minotaur, you don't see Cultist at the very top. You don't really see it where I'm at either. I'm just going to do that. Yeah, I'll let that guy do its thing here. We don't need any of these. So I'll just do that. I'll level up that guy. I can copy that. We can do this. I don't know. I just feel like it's not necessarily a win. The win rate as a whole, especially between 7 and 9, I don't know how evident that is to like how strong the card is. The opponent's decks probably don't even have complete decks. Moving forward, Tesla. Okay. Tesla's a card. They can't possibly be nerfing Tesla. Tesla, like, doesn't exist in the meta right now. So, Megawatt no longer deals a percentage of damage to enemies when gaining a charge. A charged Tesla now has a 15% chance to hit the target again when attacking. Overload is 30% chance. Okay, so it's a little bit of a rework there. Okay, why? Compared to other level 15 units and with the last talent, Tesla is noticeably inferior, there we go, in its effectiveness. In late waves, the unit rarely gets charges, and after the wave, balance changes. Okay, it begins to suffer more from bosses and banner lords. With this change, we're increasing the effectiveness of the final talent, especially against high health targets. I think that's fair. I think Tesla needs a little bit of help. Kind of a buff, kind of a rework on one of the talents. I'm down. Robot. Tough tuning. Damage increase per part 2.5 to 3%. Arms race. Robot damage increase 25% to 32.5%. And BRG 1000. Laser damage against normal monsters goes from 400% to 500%, and laser damage against bosses and mini-bosses go from 800% to 1,000%. I got no problem with this. To me, Robot also isn't really in the meta all that much. The only thing that comes to mind here is that the better Robot is, the more Shaman Witch toxic decks there are going to be. So that doesn't sound fun to me, but Robot's a good card. Robot's a high damage legendary card. It's got full talents on it. It should be in the mix with a bunch of other options out here like Inquiz, like Minotaur, like Monk. You know, Monk's super good right now. I wonder if they're going to do anything to Monk. So I'm not surprised that it's getting a buff, but I don't want to see Witch and Shaman come back to prevalence, especially with Inquiz now. Inquiz is kind of annoying to play with against those toxic decks because it doesn't have that, I know, boo-hoo us, right? But it doesn't have the permanent shield, so it just makes it a little bit more interesting to play against, and it's only got the 1 damage unit, so it's really, really susceptible to those types of decks. Moving forward, Banshee, minimum base damage 500 to 125. Whoa, that is a huge nerf. Banshee's getting nerfed? Response interval from 0.5 to 225 seconds. Okay, so it's got a quicker response interval now. That's a buff. Orb gain delay 20C to 10C. Oh, we've got virus on our board. Yoops. Damage bonus per spear from 10% to 35%. Okay. So a little bit of a rework here. So it's going to be attacking faster. If I understand this correctly, it's going to be attacking faster, but its damage overall is going to be lower. I think it's going to be a boost, a buff overall. Okay. Coven, increased damage for each Banshee in the chain from 5% to 10%. Definitely sounds good there. Solitude damage increase from 25% to 35%. We knew the buff was coming, right? New cards that come into the meta, it's really hard to make a new card come out and have it be balanced. Even though they test it and do this and do that, it's really hard to make sure that it's going to fit, because a level 7 card against level 7 opponents and a level 15 card against level 15 opponents, totally different ballgame, right? But here's why. Banshee has the highest win rate with low critical damage players. Positioning well against high critical damage players. Okay, by increasing the attack speed, the reducing the damage of the unit, and improving the collection of spheres, we allow players to reach the maximum power of the unit a little later. Okay, this will help even out the unit's strength of new players and add more dynamics and strategy to the game at higher levels. To compensate for the decrease in effectiveness at low levels, we are buffing the unit's level 9 talents. So it's just so interesting to me. So, you know, typically, if you are a low crit player, as they described it, if you're a low crit player and you also have Banshee, that doesn't mean that you're like a low level player. You probably spend a good amount of money in the game. You probably have really good equipment. You probably have pretty good card levels. Maybe you don't have high critical damage because you're newer to the game and you're just not leveling up all your cards. I feel like the way that they're understanding how strong a card is at low levels is not necessarily as accurate as they would hope it to be. But that's just my opinion. Which, Magic Circle. Merging a unit in a circle now grants 100 mana and 20% of the summon cost. I don't know what it was before, but why? Circle of Curses talent is significantly more popular. Okay, the Magic Circle with this change has hopefully balanced the popularity choice. Okay, yeah, the Witch Circle of the Curse Circle is on your opponent's board. Super popular if you have that high level talent. I guess the other option is Magic Circle, which gives you mana. Didn't even know that. That's how unpopular it was. Kind of funny. Yeah, that sounds fine. That makes sense. Okay, Clock of Power. Oh, I did see this. Clock of Power is getting nerfed. Just not even... It doesn't have talents or anything, obviously, so just straight up nerf. Clock of Power. Now when merging, the number of slowed down / accelerated units depends on merge rank of the clock. 2 units per merge rank. That's pretty cool. It's now dependent on how high a level, a tier that clock is. Cool. Why? The clock not only has one of the strongest mechanics for applying negative effects in the game, but also has the ability to remove various protective effects from the enemy all at once. In order to preserve the randomness effects in our game, we have less impact on the opponent's field. We decided to reduce the number of negative effects applied. Don't mind that at all. How many more we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Frost. What are we doing here? Assassin? Let's see how we do against Assassin. Took away my Dryad. How dare you? We're at 35. We got to go through the Frost. Frost King. The Frost King now spawns with a 10-second delay rather than immediately after disappearing from the table. Interesting. I don't have Max Frost, so I don't think that pertains to me. Why? With the last talent, the unit makes life too difficult for the enemy on the first wave. There are situations when the enemy is not lucky with the initial units, and he does not receive mana for 30 seconds or more, which leads to automatic defeat. We are happy that players are trying different strategies to win and experimenting, but the current mana cap is too frustrating in a fight where there is nothing the player can do. Therefore, we decided to reduce the Frost King's control over this effect while still allowing the players to win due to the effectiveness of randomness and tactical frost merging. That's pretty funny. I didn't know that interaction. I don't know that talent because I think my Frost is level 9. I have the first talent on it. That's hilarious, though. Yeah, I would absolutely be somebody that would be salty about that. If I lost immediately to a Max Frost, you bet your little patooter I'd be mad. That's hilarious that they're redoing that. Meteor. Falling Star can now send an additional meteor when fusing without an orb of flame. Okay. Overheat. Orb transfer chances from 25% to 20%. Okay. Apocalypse no longer destroys a random enemy unit, but reduces its merge rank by 3. Wow. Are they expecting us to have over a 3-rank unit? Fixed a bug in the description. Chance of an additional sphere, 10% to 20%. That's wild. Apocalypse was dirty, especially if it hit a unit that was, like, necessary. But down 3 ranks, it's definitely a nerf. I feel like that's worthwhile. I don't feel like Meteor is super, super strong. Apocalypse did feel pretty strong. So, all right. Let's say why. Let's talk about why. Meteor is a strong unit that requires skill to use. Yep. But at max ascension, it has a very high win rate along with the Meteor. Minotaur, rather. And this is not accidental. Hit him with a GG. I don't know how we're doing, but... Woo, yeah, cheers, my man. Thank you. Shout out to Faisal for the co-op game. And this is not accidental because units are often used in the same deck. Yep. We're tweaking the unit 11 talents to balance them out for picks and nerfing the level 15 talent so that the late wave players still have a chance to counter Meteor. Okay, pretty cool. Let's see how we ended up with this little co-op. We used a gold ticket, everything. I'm not going to watch that ad, but a little 17,000 gold. Look at us going up over 76. Absolutely love to see that. Let's give you guys a little bit of scenery to look at while we finish out these balancing changes. And this is just a little... Okay, let's go. The changes described above will only take effect with the release of Update 19.0. Attention, the following changes will not be included in this version and may not be released at all. However, we are testing various changes to improve your gaming experience and decided to tell you why we made it to our list. So these changes that I'm going to talk on right now aren't necessarily going to be changes that they're going to make. And if they are, they're not necessarily going to come out in Update 19.0. Okay, but let's talk about it. There's only 3 changes here. Monk. This unit has a very high win rate at max level, but is normal at lower levels. We are discussing options for a small unit boost at a low level and a decrease in effectiveness only at max level. See, I feel like that is a no-brainer. Out of all the changes they just made, that seems to make the most sense to me. Monk at max is dirty. Monk at the bottom, I don't really see it very often. Yeah, they're making all these changes to all these different cards. Cultist? They're already nerfing Cultist. It's so upsetting. I'm surprised. Spirit Master, in no way inferior to the Monk at high levels, and has a unique mechanic of mana boosting for more levels than other units. Her mechanics at a high level of crit allow you to achieve huge damage values. We are considering moving unit forms to level 9 to show unit changes as early as possible, as well as discussing an option of reducing the impact of crit on unit effectiveness. Okay, a little bit of a rework, try and show off Spirit Master a little bit early on in the stages. I like that. I don't even have Spirit Master. I don't really see it very often, and if I do see it, it's a high level and it's dirty. So, okay, sounds good. And then lastly, Magic Sword. Currently the most popular support unit along with the Dryad. We also discuss various improvements to this unit, both in terms of usability and in its popularity. So Magic Sword, discuss various improvements to this unit. I don't know why they would say that it's the most popular support unit and then discuss various improvements to the unit. That sounds interesting. I don't know why it would be the most popular and they also want to add improvements. But again, nothing's going to come of this in Update 19.0. I would expect some changes to Sword in the upcoming updates after that. I would expect to see some reworks to where maybe it decreases the effectiveness of the blue sword and increases the effectiveness of the red sword, something like that. I only have mine at level 9, so I don't even know exactly what happens further on. But yeah, the best deck in the game right now is Sword, Dryad, Dark Inquis with Zeus. So I don't know why they would improve it, but only time will tell. Guys, let me know in the comments what you're most excited about in update 19.0, what you're most upset about. I'm just really shocked about Cultist. Let me know what you think. But that is going to be the end of this YouTube video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll check you guys out in tomorrow's video.